Hello and good morning, and welcome to Tech Talk with T&E. I'm Terry Samuels with my wife Elizabeth. This is our weekly podcast. Today is a little bit special, a little bit different and special. We're actually talking about the lineup for SEO Spring Training, talk a little bit about the venue, the dates, all that kind of stuff. So if you will, if you follow us, well, I'm going to get this right. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. There we go. So, anyways, thank you. Good morning, Elizabeth. How are you?
I am fantastic. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I know everybody keeps saying, why did you guys pick Monday? Because it's just, torture. Anyways, so what be happening on the SEO spring training side? Hold on, I'm turning off my phone.
What do you mean what's happening? You know what's happening. We are reaching out to speakers. We're having speakers reach out to us. I think most of you that know us, know our events, know that we like to kind of change it up. As much as we love all of our amazing people that are in our industry that we're all connected with, we want to bring some, fresh new blood. We want to keep things popping, stay current with what's going on in the industry, and also make sure that we're providing value left, right, and center, right? First base,
100%.
third base, center field, right?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So the format of the conference isn't going to change that much. So we're still going to do morning stage Friday, May 1st, Saturday, May 2nd, and Sunday, May 3rd. That's the actual event, 2026, obviously. And then in the afternoons, we're going to have the breakout rooms on Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday, we're looking at a couple different things that we're going to do for Sunday afternoon. Right now, the way it stands, we're going to do Wednesday, the 29th, will be the golf extravaganza in the morning, and then the VIP event and VIP dinner in the afternoon and that night. And then on Thursday, April 30th, will be Tech Day, and it'll be all day. So we'll do some tech stuff as far as learning and seeing what some of these amazing people are doing. And then in the afternoon, we're kind of playing around with some things about what to do as far as an event for afternoon on Tech Day. So
well,
everything.
We found that having the tech day at the end was a little harder. Our original purpose was to have people kind of play off everything that was presented throughout the event, and then focus on that. But after 5 days, I think everybody was a little fried. So we want tech day to be fresh. We want it to be popping, and then get people really engaged for that, because that's really kind of the meat of a lot of the things that we do is, our tech focus.
For sure, 100%. And it is always the most popular day by far. So I am excited that we're moving it before this time. And we're kind of doing the whole day thing. So it's a little bit, I think a little bit more emphasis on the tech day, obviously with AI and automation and all the stuff that's happening. It's going to be a whirlwind about the different. And one of the big things we're trying to do now is the afternoon breakouts is figuring that out with all the different changes with AI. And we could really have an AI just for video, an AI room just for there's that much stuff out there right now. So
Yeah.
A couple disclaimers. We still have a couple presenters or the lineup, a couple people in the lineup that have not confirmed yet, whether it be from coming in from overseas or whatever. And then I'm still have a couple spots open and that I'm just kind of playing around and seeing, what how we can make things fit and put the right people in the right spot. Chris Moore is going to be our MC again this year. If you were at the event last year, Chris is phenomenal. One of our favorite people. This year, I'm actually going to give Chris more time to basically teach us throughout the whole event. So he's just a whirlwind of information. And then, of course, Clint Butler is going to be the facilitator, the sergeant at arms, as I like to say. So anyways, without further ado, so the first presenter that we like to talk about is Adam Kroineister. Adam's been a dear friend of ours for a while. He speaks at all kinds of different events. He's cutting edge as far as when it comes to AI and automation and stuff like that. Um, what about Adam?
Oh, hold on. I gotta get to Adam's page here. Some of the speakers have filled out the speaker forms to give us their information previously. So I do have some stuff. This was, a little bit earlier in the year that, he talked about AI with SEO and then his brands and press releases. So he covered those in the previous events. I don't have titles or too much information about what he's going to talk about this next year, but I mean, we still have 6 months. So,
It's going to
just
change, I'm
whatever
sure.
I say, take it with a grain of salt because a lot of things are changing in the industry and it can change the presentations as well. So I don't have a ton of solid information about what everybody's speaking about. So,
Yeah, and just like you said, though, it is going to change. I mean, especially in the AI automation world, it's basically every week, I think.
yeah.
So yeah, so just take it from a grain of salt. We'll keep the website updated as far as when we know the different topics as they change.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be pretty crazy the next 6 months, I think, for everybody. Awesome. All right. So the next one is birthday boy. Today's Aaron Granke's birthday. So happy birthday, Aaron.
Happy
Um,
birthday.
yeah, Aaron's coming. Aaron's going to come in. Aaron has been to many of our events.
I think he's been to every single one of them. He's very loyal.
Yeah. And this time he's doing some pretty crazy stuff. So I thought it'd be really cool to put him on, up in front of everybody and, see what Aaron has to share for us.
Yeah, so at the digital event that we had, he spoke up about some e-commerce stuff, and I mean, he looks at things a little bit different perspective from a local SEO. He has been coaching a number of people on Legit, and so he's really coming up in our industry, So I would always tell you, don't underestimate the people in the audience because there's some powerhouses out there. Just because people aren't on stage doesn't mean that they don't have a lot of value and things to give to our industry.
Exactly right. Next one is Robbie Riz. So Robbie's coming back. He was at our digital event and he actually sponsored last year. So Robbie's coming to speak in front of us this year, which we're very excited about. What do you have for Robbie?
I have, well, besides the fact that he's a great guy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure, 100%.
don't underestimate that. But he does talk about AI, SaaS, and local SEO. I know, a lot of people dig into local, but it's super important because most of our customers and clients are local businesses. So, you have to be able to service and cater to your clients.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yep, for sure. Next one on the lineup is Jason Guy. So Jason, I reached out to. I've known Jason for years, but he's AdWords, and I think AdWords is becoming more and more critical than ever nowadays. So he's presented at the digital event, and man, I wish I could have given him more time because it was just value after value after value. I've been doing AdWords for years, and I still don't have it down pat, and it's sometimes it kind of upsets me because it is such an important part of what we do, and I love to learn to see what everybody else is doing as far as AdWords. And
well,
Jason's
and
been my go-to.
he teaches it in a way that's easy to understand and easy to implement. And you and I both know we're conservative when it comes to spending client money. Like we're
Yeah.
not going to just blow and go. And we try to dial it in as much as we can. And I think he's got a really great system that does dial it in, target demographic, local home services businesses, and running ads at a sustainable rate. You can't
Mhm.
have those cost per clicks being, $150 a click because then you don't even know if they convert. So
For
be
sure.
smart.
Be smart. Be smart. Next up, we have Mark Rabb. So Mark, he spoke at our event last year. Was it last year he spoke? I don't remember.
I
Anyways, he's
thought it was
spoken.
23. I'm not
It
sure.
might have
24.
been. Yeah, matter of fact, I think he had a scheduling conflict last year. Anyway, so Mark does some really cool stuff around. He's doing some really neat stuff right now about, in the lead gen world, as far as, building the websites, getting the map, converting that into a client, and then, basically taking a piece of it. So equity plays. So super excited that Mark's coming back.
Yep.
Andrew Ansley, if you're in the game and you're in the business, Andrew's just, he's the go-to. I love watching what he does. And he teaches, he's so forthcoming with all his knowledge and everything that it's really exciting to see what's going on.
Well,
so
he's
Andrew's
just,
definitely
I mean, like the mind on that guy, like freaking brilliant.
exactly. Robbie Riz, how are you? So we're excited. Andrew's coming back. I can tell you right now, Andrew will be in the tech day. So
Yeah.
that'll be, and so will Robbie Riz. Robbie just joined us. So welcome. Next up is Herc Magnus. So Herc spoke up last year, and actually Herc was the #1 rated speaker last year. He was the one that got the most likes. It was a close race, of course, but Elizabeth and I have known Herc for, I think 8 or 9 years. He used to snowbird down here from Canada, and we got to know him and his wife very well, and I think they've got 2 kids now.
Yes, they do.
And so we're excited for Herc to come back and teach us some of the stuff that he's doing. Another Canadian right behind Herc is Jacob Kettner. Jacob's an awesome guy. He owns an agency up in Canada, and I met Jacob at a Rockstars event in, I believe it was Pasadena. I think it was a Disney one. And we just became really good friends. And he's spoken at our events. He's came to our Las Vegas mastermind. We did the Vegas mastermind. So I'm super excited for Jacob. What did he have on his form?
Well, he scaled his agency to over 3 million a year. So he likes to share and be super candid and forthcoming with some of the bumps that he's had in his journey. So, that's awesome. There's a lot of people out there. Some of us have imposter syndrome, like, fake it till you make it, put on this like air of success until you really get there. And, a lot of it is mindset as well. But he's really candid about keeping it real and, not having an inflated ego. He's a really great guy. We really like interacting with him in the events that we've been to. And, I just think that there's a lot of value for that. Not everyone wants to scale their agency, and that's totally fine. But there's a lot of value in what he has through his growth and the different points in his journey, that even if you're not scaling, it's valuable information. It can definitely help.
Yep, 100%. And he's got a really cool way of looking at things too. So
Yeah,
really good. And then another Canadian, Daryl Osborne.
You just stop. You just stop. Okay.
I didn't realize I put them all 3 in a row. That's kind of funny.
Funny.
Daryl Osborne, schema nerd, technical nerd. We're super excited. This will be the first time that Daryl's been to spring training. And he's in person. Yeah, he did speak at the digital event. But Daryl's just a wealth of information and doing some really, really cool things.
So, like, I'll tell you the description of his topic, but I mean, we may lose half the people right there. So he's going to reveal the newest version of his proprietary Surge V3 method, which is anchored by the dataset modeling framework breakthrough technology combined with syndication engines training. So yeah, cool tech stuff, cool nerd stuff. Thanks, Daryl.
Exactly. Yeah, but let's not write at the 5th grade level like Google wants to see.
Right.
All right. The next one is Corey Quinn. Man. So Corey was the chief marketing officer of Scorpion. took Scorpion to 300 plus million. Elizabeth and I met him and saw him at a San Diego event put on by Chris Martinez, which, a little plug, is coming up again in December. If you want to grow your agency, I fully recommend Chris's event. Anyway, so Corey's going to come. He's going to teach us about sales. Just a really dynamic guy, and just I love watching his videos. And he's got a group and stuff that he's put together to help people get to the next level. He's a big believer in niching down, all this stuff like that.
Well, and he hits home with a lot of us. Scale or don't scale, it's irrelevant to me. But as a owner and a founder of our own business, we get in our own way more than we care to admit, and that's the biggest thing. Just because you're a founder does not mean you have to be stuck in fulfillment. You've got to get out of that mindset. Even if you don't want to grow super big, you just want 1 or 2 people under you. Like, still work smarter, not harder.
Yep, 100%. All right, Lisa Parziali, Lisa P. So Lisa P and us, we've been kind of friends, partners. She's got a really cool digital conference in January. She's grown into this, pretty cool following. But we're excited to have her back. She's spoken at our events before, and she's got just a great person. All kinds of different topics. She's like, whatever you want me to speak at, kind of like the same thing I do. So,
well, she's going to talk about the fusion between search and social because, yes, search is fantastic, but we're noticing a lot more of social on search pages. And so she's going to talk about the hidden SEO power of, TikTok, Reels, Shorts, all of that. And, we sponsor her conference. She sponsors ours. So there's a great reciprocal support. And, she's an amazing woman, a fantastic business owner.
Exactly. Yeah. Good people.
OG Lisa P.
OG Lisa P. Simon Cornelius. I think Simon spoke at many of our events. He's another one of those that is just a super techie, super wealth of information. Loves to share what's actually working, loves to provide value. That's why I keep asking him to come back. One of the things that we love about Simon is we can put him pretty much anywhere and he'll shine. So we've been friends for a long time, obviously, and we're really excited to invite him back. Ariel Cohen. Yeah, Cohen. So Ariel, all right, you talk about Ariel because she's pretty freaking cool.
Well, she comes from the 7-figure agency arena, and I believe she's spoken at Josh's events before. She spoke at Patrick events before, and that's where we ran across her. And she has a really great model, a great method, and she scales with virtual assistants. She helps you kind of free up your free time, because we jokingly say we don't have any free time, and she'll help us figure it out. And, she does some AI and automation, but her focus is definitely in the roofing industry. And she is just amazing. We really enjoyed her presentation. It's very relatable. It's, something you can easily implement, and really good person.
Yeah, exactly right. So, all right. So Brent Jacobs. So Brent's coming over from Europe. Belgium. Wow. Okay,
I believe.
Cool.
I'll double check.
He's interesting story. So Brent was actually a kind of a student of mine back when he started this thing. And he's doing some really cool stuff, especially around social media ads, stuff around that arena too. It's, I call it other traffic. And other traffic, just like Elizabeth mentioned on the social side, is super, super important. So we invited Brent to come over and share what he's been doing with us.
Yeah, so he definitely does a lot with SEO. He has a school community. He does plenty of podcasts as well. He really looks to you as a mentor. I believe when he was starting out, there was a lot of people that didn't really give him the time of day, and you don't look at things like that. You just, if somebody asks questions or wants help, you are very forthcoming and generous with your time and your knowledge. So he really appreciated that. But he does some AI stuff, he does some PPC stuff. So I don't have a really finger on the pulse of exactly his topic, but he does have a lot of things that he can bring out. for the
Well, and it's
conference.
also going to change a lot in the next 6 months too, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, Charles Taylor. So Charles Taylor of the ex-Fox, ex-Verizon SEO world. Charles came to our first, I don't know, first event after COVID, I think it was.
It
And
was 2023. He was at.
he came as an attendee, and it was interesting because Elizabeth and I saw as like, wow, this guy's coming, and he currently works for Fox Business, and he used to work for Verizon, um, and it was kind of like, wow, this is cool. How'd he find out about us, kind of thing. And and then we come to find out that he's just like the most down to earth guy I've ever met. He's just like so down to earth, so helpful, willing, got a great heart. He's no longer with either one of those. He actually decided to go out on his own, which is even more exciting for all of us. So he gets to come and share all kinds of stuff, whether it be from the enterprise level, whether it be from just simple stuff that people take for granted. That especially around website migrations and all the different
Mhm.
things.
Yeah, that's what he's going to talk about is website migration. And that's something very near and dear to my heart because I've, seen and experienced migrations that, I watch other companies do it and I just cry sometimes because if
Yeah,
you don't do it right, it can really hurt a business. It can hurt a
yeah,
company.
we're right in the
And
middle of one right now that is pretty interesting. All right, Adam McChesney. So Adam spoke at our event 2 years ago. I'll be honest with you, I can't even remember how I met Adam. But he's a super dynamic guy. Runs a big agency. Started off in lead gen, and just really speaks at all kinds of events. And when I invited him, I thought I was like, "Hey, do you have time for us this year?" So Adam's coming back.
yeah. Well, and he started over. He was involved in a large group and they parted ways. I don't know all the deets, so I don't have any gossip. I'm so sorry. But they parted ways and he just started over, rebuilt his agency, and he hit $1 million in 9 months. So again, it's your mindset, it's what you're doing. Again, if you're stuck in the fulfillment trap, then you can only fulfill so much. But he is going to
100%.
definitely promote and get some people out coming to you know learn from all of his struggles and trials.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next to the plate is Bill Hartzer. Bill, and I've known Bill. A lot of people know Bill. He does a lot of great things in the SEO space. I've seen him speak at some what was it, SEO Rock Stars with a Z. I think that's what it was. Anyway, Lisa Duty's conference. He also is really big in the search world around Texas. He actually lives in Florida, or excuse me, Colorado now. But great guy. I'm super excited to have him come.
He
What did
serves
he
as
put
an
down?
expert witness in a lot of legal cases involving SEO, digital marketing, and domain names. So he's got a lot of insights on, how to do things the right way, which we appreciate. But believe it or not, there's a lot of lawsuits out there involving digital marketing, and we just want to make sure we are out of it.
100%. So this will be the first time at spring training for Bill. It'll also be the first time at spring training for Joy Hawkins. So Joy's coming. I've known about Joy for a long time, obviously. I follow her on LinkedIn, especially. She puts out a lot of great stuff. We finally actually met at last year's Rock Stars. And she was actually one of the first people I reached out to come to speak at spring training. So it fit her schedule, which is really cool. So she will be, gracing us with her presence and her knowledge.
Yep. Yeah, she talks about in her presentation, she's gonna go through how to mimic Reddit and maybe win some local SEO, why a lot of AI written pages are failing, and what you can do to boost your local rankings. So I know her and Holly have had a love, hate, love relationship over the years, but I think they're in a good space now, and it's just really exciting to bring new people in. Joy's not spoken at any of our events before, but I met her at Rockstars, and so I'm excited to have her come out.
Yep, for sure. All right, then Mr. Dan Kurtz. Of course, he'll be part of Tech Day. Dan is actually probably the reason why him and Mr. Cato are probably the reason why our Tech Days are so popular. Just does some crazy stuff. You can't talk to him about H1s and H2s and stuff like that. He's like way beyond that stuff. So I'm not sure what he's going to cover this time, but each time it's crazy. But again, he's also 6 months away from probably even picking a topic. So,
Well, just because everything changes, he
yeah.
did put down on his forum, he's going to go through some automation, which is his jam, some AI, some no code systems. It's his talk is suited to all audiences. So it's not like it's going to be over all of our head, even though if you get him going, it is over your head. But, Dan is just one of those like sleeper agents, man. He can just get in and he's very unassuming. If you're in a room, you really don't know. And then he starts talking and wow, minds are blown.
Yeah.
So.
And then of course, Mr. Brian Cato's coming back. He's always invited. He's all value based. I love the stuff he does. It's helped our agency and some of the stuff that we do. And plus he's just the kind of person that you can reach out to, ask a question to. And those are like my favorite people.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna give any secrets away, but there's a lot of things, a lot of tactics that maybe still work. So they shouldn't, exactly. But you never know. And all the love to Cato B. Cato.
Yep. Ted Gavitas is coming back. He's actually going to open up spring training. He opened up spring training 2 years ago.
No, this year.
What's that?
The 2025. He opened it 2025. He was 2023, I think.
Yeah. So Ted's.
Oh, and 2019. Oh my gosh! Ted's an OG.
Exactly. So, and it's never a problem asking Ted to come. Just one of my favorite people in this whole industry, and I'm super excited to bring him back, and then obviously have him open, and then we can kind of pick Ted's brain for a little bit. He always does some really crazy stuff. So, Tester
always
Ted.
My favorite TED Talk. Always.
Yeah, for sure. Pete Kleingen. So Pete spoke last year, but it was kind of like, oh crap, I need to freaking get somebody in to cover people because we had some last minute cancellations. So Pete spoke last year, very well received. I didn't know much about him. So I definitely, as soon as he was done last year, I asked him to come speak this year. More official now. But so Pete, I'm super excited for Pete to come back. Just another down to earth guy, loves teaching, loves helping small businesses. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So he put on here that he's kind of his own case study because he started on April 24th to do his own social media. Previous to the event, he had hired people out to do it. And so he's been tracking his progress, and he kind of wanted to share some of the things that he's learned doing it himself. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Good deal.
Personal case study.
Yep. Mr. Elias is coming back. Where's Elias from? What is it?
Greece.
Greece. So he obviously owns SEO Neo and Omega Indexer, stuff like that. He's probably going to be a sponsor of ours. He's a great friend. This calendar, it fit his schedule to be able to come back across the pond and help us out and show us some backlinking and stuff that he's doing. Chris Martinez. So Chris Martinez is, I mentioned his event a little while ago. He's from Bloom. His business company's named Bloom. He helps businesses get ready to sell. That's what he teaches you. And he has an event every 6 months. I think the next one's the first week in December in San Diego. It's an awesome event. Elizabeth and I went to the last one. We're hoping to go to this next one. And it is, if you've been in this business any amount of time, and we all need to start looking at the exit. And you can't look at the exit and then plan it in a year. It's more like 3 years, 4 years. So Elizabeth and I started getting into those events about 2 years ago to get us ready to, sell, merge, whatever. And it's kind of a passion of ours to, see what we're doing wrong, not really necessarily wrong, or what we aren't doing that we didn't even know about. In some cases, what we were doing wrong. So I asked him to come speak because he's just a wealth of information, especially if you're getting to that stage. And I'm super excited he said yes. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Merlino comes back. Merlino's been at all of our events. He's Mike. Mike does some pretty crazy stuff at the digital event. He showed us some digital stuff that he's doing, some AI and automation stuff that he's doing that is just crazy. Mike is known as the maps guy. He'll always be known as the maps guy. He's very, very good at the maps. But some of the stuff that he's also doing besides maps is really, really cool. So I'm super excited that Mike can come back and talk to us about his new adventures that he's been working
on. Yeah, he'll be talking about branded traffic, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So Brian Winham, he's the OG as far as, agency stuff. He at the digital event, he talked about the really good robot.txt file. He talked about a really good LLMS.txt file. All this kind of stuff that's, that we need to all be thinking about and not only thinking about, but implementing. So, of course, he was invited back. He's always one of the top presenters of the week.
He's going to be talking about an AI-friendly affiliate site. Everybody says affiliate's dead. Well, let's see.
Yep. Austin Hauser. So again, at Chris Martinez's event, we met Austin Hauser. Austin's also from the 7-Figure Agency Group. And just a really cool story, really cool guy. Heavily niched down, has a really successful podcast. And it's pretty exciting to find out, when we go to these events and we see these other people that are presenting value that we think that same value would be good for our people. It's a pleasure to, invite these people to speak. And, I got to spend a little bit of time with them. Obviously at an event, there's not much time you can spend, especially something that's, it's different than we do. Like, we're all about the networking and we pick the hotel for that and everything. And, some events don't do that very well. So, no, it's no hit. It's just, hey, we want to spend more time with you, go to dinner, have a drink, whatever.
Well, because that's where a lot of the gold is. The person on the stage is fantastic, right? Like, we love our presenters, we love our speakers, but it's that one-on-one time, sitting in the patio, sitting at the bar late at night, where you can actually ask the questions. A lot of people, well, we're an industry of introverts, so a lot of us aren't going to raise our hand and ask a ton of questions while somebody's on stage. But, those personal connections, I know there's been a lot of connections from our events where it's made a huge impact to people's businesses. There's business partnerships that have started up, because they met at our event. And,
100%.
I don't know. I love our people. I love our people.
Definitely. Okay, next up to the lineup is Mr. Marty Marion. Of course, you guys all know Marty. Marty's been doing some really, last time he presented, I think it was at Rockstars, he presented about some prompting he's doing around intent. And he showed that at the digital stuff, just kind of mind-blowing stuff. So, of course, Marty's going to come back and Marty's going to teach us what he's doing now, obviously 6 months from now. And he's like, the OG of marketing in general. His mind works differently than any other mind I've ever seen. It's crazy. Patrick Shannon's going to come back. Patrick Shannon's, also a sponsor. He's going to talk about some different things that they're doing in their agency now, because every agency is kind of not necessarily pivoting, but kind of, moving different directions. And, some of the stuff that he's doing, some of the stuff that he does in his agency, I really think it'll help everybody. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. He's probably going to talk a little bit about, some audit stuff that he's doing for GVPs, which has always been like my big thing is when we go to present or go to show a solution to a potential client, it's good to have these different ways that you can show what's truly happening with their project. And so I've kind of asked him to do a couple of different things. So we'll see, in 4 or 5 months where he's at. So, and then last but not least, Corey Hubble. So yay, Corey. Corey was supposed to speak last year. He had to cancel, had a family emergency. So he definitely was invited back this year, spoke at the digital event. He talks about at the digital event, he talked about where not just in Google, but where these AI overviews are actually pulling the content from on your page to show it. It's something that I've been teaching also. So it's, don't just assume that it pulls from the top of your page. It can pull from, the first third. It can pull from, different areas depending on how you have your page formatted. So I don't know. Did you put a topic down?
He didn't fill out the form. Corey.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So no problem. So that's good. But that's it. Like I said, we've got, a few more people, not a few. We've got a couple people that just haven't committed yet. And then we've got a couple people that I just haven't either approached or I'm really trying to find out a way for just to kind of see how it all lays out. The way we do these, especially in the breakout rooms, they have to make sense. So, and every year they kind of change. I'm really kind of thinking this year they might change a little bit, but not as much as I changed last year. But the breakout rooms is always the scheduling part that we kind of, spend the most time on because the stage is pretty easy. The breakout rooms are a little bit different because you want to make sure that each person's using that kind of, main topic, so to speak.
Right. And, every once in a while there are personal family things that people can't come out, right, Miss Holly? So we totally understand it, no harm, no foul, but you always have to have a couple of speakers in your back pocket to, fill in last minute. And that's just how it goes. So
Yeah,
if your name wasn't called, if your name wasn't called in the attendance, let me know.
But we hope you can make it, so we're going to be updating the website over the next few days, getting that all updated.
Do not say the next few days because okay. That's me. So give me some grace here.
Okay. So the next week.
We'll see.
But plan it out. Some of the stuff that, like the golf extravaganza, all that stuff is, I already have a guy coming this year that's, not really just coming for the golf, but he said, I'm not missing the golf this time. So it is a lot of fun. Obviously the VIP and the tech days are, some stuff you don't want to miss. And then of course, the 3-day event. So it's going to be at the same hotel we were at the last year in Chandler, downtown Chandler. Great hotel. Everybody loved the venue, loved everything that's around it. And you didn't have to go very far to do stuff. And that's kind of the reason why we chose that. So any last minute things, Miss Elizabeth?
I'm excited. So, I'm working on a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. This last year was great. There was a lot of fantastic things about it. I'm just looking forward to this next year. You know what it's like putting on events, it's a little crazy. There's a lot, but I'm looking forward to it because it is a great time to connect with other people in our industry, see our friends again, and love it.
It is. Yep. I think last but not least, sponsorships are open. So, there's a little bit of information on the website about the sponsorships. Probably the best way to do it was either contact Elizabeth or I directly. If you do contact me, I'm going to direct you to Elizabeth. The sponsorships is something that we really take, pride in because, again, if I haven't used your software and if I haven't, if I don't know what your software does, then it might not become a sponsorship. So I'm proud to say that that's kind of like my bar level. If I like your software and you want to sponsor, I'll support you. But
again, I think it's an opportunity if you aren't familiar with somebody's software or their business whatever their services are, it's an opportunity for you to get to know it. You know, so it's not that if you don't already know it, you're out, you're not one of the cool kids, because we don't
Yeah.
play that way.
No.
But you know, if you do have something of value that you think our industry would like, then we're absolutely open to bringing it to the industry. And, you know, this
Yeah.
is a good opportunity to do so. So, you know, definitely have a call. I'm happy to talk with anyone and, you know, kind of field it for you. And if it's something really super cool, then I will definitely make a point of bringing it to Terry and say, hey, check this shit out. It's cool.
Yep, for sure. So anyways, everybody, thank you for joining us. We'll put this up there as far as you know, a replay type of thing here in a little bit. But we do encourage you to come. Let us know if you have questions. We do have a lot of people that come out here and do the whole Arizona thing with the Grand Canyon, and you know, I actually like going to Bisbee down south better. But there's all kinds of stuff to do here in Arizona. So if you have any of those type of questions, let us know. We're happy to help you and guide you. But you know, other than that, everybody have a great week. So thank you.
All right, we're done.
We're done.